to order of the Devion Board of Trustees. It is July 13th at 7 p.m. 2024. We have a quorum present. Cody is unable to attend this evening due to not feeling well. Let's move to our invocation, and I'll Father Derek to do that if you don't mind, and we'll follow that with a pledge.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day, your blessings. Thank you for bringing us all here tonight throughout the weekend and this first day of the week. We ask that you would ask a special blessing on our community, our DeLand ISD, the teachers, students, staff members, everyone. I pray a special blessing over them through the summer as they're getting their batteries recharged, ready to go into the new school year. I pray that you would help guide, lead in all of that process before ramping back up for the new year. We ask that you would have your will and way tonight in our meeting, that you would guide our thoughts, our actions. We pray for your divine wisdom in every decision we make, Lord. In your name, amen.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful, thank you all. Okay, I think, do we have any citizen participation tonight? Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. The approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Did anybody see anything there that needed to be changed? From the way it was typed up? Okay. Let's move then to the comparison of the revenue to budget.
Well, we're winding a school year down. We have 2 more months, the end of this month and the end of July, of August, and we're doing well, keeping everything in line. Of course, we all knew that we approved a deficit budget, so we will be needing to take some out of balance, and hopefully not as much as we thought, but we will take some out.
Okay.
Mr. Thompson is nodding yes. Tax collections, we've collected $59,036.72 since our last board meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the numbers that you're seeing there? Okay. If we're ready then, we can put a motion on that.
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Keith. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, so for discussion items, 6.1, campus reports and program reviews. Do you have anything, Mr. Miller, that you wanted to say?
I have a safety thing.
Okay, let me wait
I'll wait for
let
that.
you do safety here just one
And
second.
then at the high school, we're just super proud to have Natalie over there with us.
Yes.
And we're all just one great big family right now, having a great time, working hard, getting things ready.
That's great, that's wonderful. Kathy Edwards is here this evening. This is our new junior high principal, and if you haven't had a chance to go by and visit with her, please do. I got to talk to her today. I think Ms. Boswell has already visited with her, and it was a pleasure to talk with you today, and welcome on. Very excited to have you. Lisa, did you have anything for campus
Nothing
reports?
moved right at the moment.
Okay,
Same old, same old.
it's nice to see Ms.
Good old, good old.
How are you?
Good old, good old.
You having a good summer?
Summer?
Okay, so we'll move to the facility projects update.
I told David that I would do that tonight. Okay, he said that you said he
I
could
just
help.
did with it just a little bit.
You could help.
Yes.
All right, new cameras have been installed and they are wonderful. Mike Taylor is so thrilled with them. He has a Zoom meeting scheduled for all of us tomorrow afternoon to give us a little orientation on how to use them. The clarity is absolutely great, and I think all of us are going to have really use them and be able to see at a glance what's happening in all corners of our district. So we're very, very pleased with that. Floors are clean. I said that the lights at the old gym were under order when I typed this. They are installed, and, I think that'll be really good. HVAC for the elementary is almost finished. Restrooms, the baseball fields are underway, and the varsity softball field underway, and that'll be such a huge plus for our fans, when that season rolls around. Stadium parking lot is complete. We do have some people doing donuts on it, but
I have a question. The entrance there, it's where it's washed, is that gonna be,
I saw that
The inclines would be-
Friday, and that it had really eroded, and I forgot to mention it to David today, but I will. We probably are gonna have to put something in there
heavier
to fix it so that it won't erode. Of course, we've only had one rain since it was finished, so we'll work on that, but I did notice that Friday.
But it's, every time it's rained, it's raining.
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
so it's-
I thought that when they made cement, that they would come on
I
up a
did
little
too.
higher with that.
They actually told me they would when we talked to them, but, I think after he had to put the wall up, cause he wasn't gonna put the wall up, you know, he's just gonna slope
Yeah,
it.
really lucky with what we got.
Yeah, so the wall looks great,
Mhm.
we'll work on that.
And I like the chain link fence around the stadium
So
too.
Is that gonna be
you haven't-
wonderful?
Yes, if you haven't gone to see that yet, it looks really good. So
Yes.
at the bleachers at the top, I guess it's on both sides.
Much
So it's
safer.
at the top, there's a railing, and then there's that mesh, metal that goes all the way down. So
Like
yes,
cyclone
it's
fencing.
really good. And the
Well-
football field itself, where he had all the sand in, it looks amazing.
Well, that was really, I don't know why, I guess I never stood on the back row, but it really was.
It was dangerous.
It was dangerous, and I think that's gonna be really, really nice, especially for people with little kids. I mean, I guess you could put them up there and kinda hem them up, and it'd be like a playpen, but anyway, it is really, really, really nice, and I will credit David for, going the extra mile. We have a great maintenance team, and so
Yes, yeah.
they're working on it and getting it done.
And
Now,
then,
Miracle, have you gotten the final invoice on the football field, football parking lot?
Mhm.
And what was the fine?
I don't know.
Would you send that to me? People are saying, that's got to cost $100,000.
Well, it did not.
And that's what I keep saying, but I
it
want
definitely
the
didn't,
fine.
but I think it looks good enough.
It
It
looks
does
good
look
enough.
really nice, and that's maybe
So
why
I
I'm
want to
saying,
be able to
but,
tell them the truth, or whatever.
wasn't
that
it 50 is what the?
51 is what they.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was,
51 is what it was
well, then it
proposed.
was a little under what we
That's
what
right.
we got.
And when we were-
58,
When we were originally
you're pushing
proposed that, it
Yeah,
was
it
80
was right
something,
at-
so
Just send it
wasn't
to
it
me.
Yeah, I
83
will.
the year
83 was
before?
the top one.
So, yeah, so,
No, it was
shouldn't
cheap.
be too bad. And if you haven't had a chance to go by and look at the restrooms, I just took a look at them just a second ago. They don't have their sinks and toilets in just yet. There's a couple things that they're still finishing up, but they look really nice.
The walls that they were putting in at the elementary school are finished, and I think it'll really enhance instruction in both those areas. The popcorn ceiling, it wasn't a ceiling, but we keep calling it a ceiling. It's that part that slants down in the cafeteria. And I guess it didn't bother me so much, but now that it is gone, it is wonderful, and it looks so much more clean and everything. So they are finishing up on that, and it looks really, really, really nice. And Ms. Womack is very pleased with that. And all in all, things are going and happening, and
That's great.
and I'll go back to our maintenance crew. When they see something that they know that needs to be done, they just do it, and that's really a good thing that we have them. So I'm very pleased with them.
Yep, they've done a great job. Okay, wonderful. Okay, Mr. Miller, back to you on the safety audit update.
Wednesday, the 24th of this week, not this week, but next week, Wednesday, are all invited. Doubly,
I'm coming.
triply, and quadruply
I'm gonna be
invited, is our school safety and security team meeting. We'll be in high school library at 4 o'clock. And then after the meeting, the first responders that are there are actually bringing their teams up. And the fire department is, Burrow has committed that he's gonna be there, and then Sheriff Pounds is bringing a crew. I will visit with the new folks at the downtown police to make sure they're invited, and we will also invite Promontory, because sometimes if it's a call, they'll come. And just get as many of the safety folks that we can, first responders, and we'll do our annual campus walk that we're required to have throughout the summer.
Chuck, Sheriff called just today, and he wants to use one of our buildings 2 days, later in this month for training. And, our guardians and you are Friday, but he hasn't decided on the day, so, but I suggested at Thursday and Friday, because we'll have nobody in the buildings on Friday, so it just, Thursday, and I said in July, so, anyway, but I think it'll be a really good opportunity.
Okay. Yes. I think he and I talked about that a long time ago, about, it was a craze.
He didn't call it craze,
Okay,
but it.
because I remember it was something we had trained in at one
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I asked, is this for teachers? But that was.
No, it's not, it's for
Yes.
first responders.
Yes. So we're gonna do a safety walk after our team meeting. During our team meeting, I will give an example of the robotic cameras, so you can see them and how we're gonna use them and all that. We're again gonna use Raptor, so all the monthly drills are set up in Raptor already, and everything is ready. And so you'll get your fun notices again, because, you know, we're pushing the 28th and we haven't had our fire drill. They send Dr. Marable a notice, and she always sends it to me, that we are set up for our monthly drills in Raptor again. I've got that all set up and ready to go. She stole my thunder. I'm pleased to announce Ricotta is in, so, but she missed the part that I'm gonna finish up on. Along with the cameras, we have installed environmental sensors, which is also called vape detectors. They're in the restrooms at the high school, the middle school, the ag building, both gymnasiums, both high school and middle school campus. So,
Okay, explain how that works, please.
we've been playing with
Don't
this.
vape in the restroom.
We've been playing with
Does
this.
it like we'll play a tune?
Well, when we have our training,
Yeah.
Wednesday, we're gonna figure out exactly how they do it. But what they do is they set so like the boys restroom, high school, if that vape detector senses anything out of the ordinary, and it can not just be vapes, that's why it's called environmental. If there's a fight and it gets real loud, real fast, it alerts the phones and the computers and the monitoring systems. We don't know if it's gonna alert with a buzz, a beep, whatever, that's what we're gonna learn Wednesday, it's one of the questions we're gonna ask. But it spikes, and it shows you on there, and as you're looking at it, it'll show you normal, 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 and then it shows activity, and it just starts doing this, and then it goes back to normal. Well, when something starts happening on the activity, the camera that is right there focuses in, and all the camera sensor says, goes to your, like if I'm watching it, it clicks to that one, so it comes full screen so I can see that one. And we tested it, and not with a vape, but I went in and played my trumpet just for automatic noise thing, and it did that, and then it saw me coming out of the bathroom. It saw me going in too, but it was just non-worried about me, but,
When he came out,
so we're hoping that this helps us a lot. So, we're excited about that, and we're ready to go. Kids in the building. I did miss one thing for high school. We are having a fish camp, and I wanna say, you might have it July 29th, does that sound correct?
It's July 31st.
31st.
Yes, and it's at maybe 9 to 12,
9
something
to
like
12,
that.
yes, so we'll bring all the incoming freshmen,
Bring your fish with you.
and
Actually, I think the parents are not allowed in, but whatever.
take a picture on the porch and then leave it. We've got all kinds of activities for them, scavenger hunts and walk the building, walk their schedules, kind of, sort of, but not exactly, they don't know what they're having yet. And just get them in the building, get them comfortable, and let them know this is, you know, a safe and wonderful place. And then that'll give us a chance to give our first impressions of this is what we expect of you. And then the first morning, 8:30, that first day of school, we can get with everybody else in your class.
Good deal. Okay, great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, is everybody ready to move into budget workshop?
you're on, Mr.
All right,
Thompson.
all you.
Okay. In front of you, put some papers that the one on top is proposed budget comparison with, for Fund 199. Before we get there though, we've added to the fund balance the last 3 years, added about almost $3.5 million because we got a bunch of ESSER funds and we could supplement to supplant those. And so we did, and we were able to add to fund balance. This year we're budgeted to hit fund balance about $933,000. I don't think it'll be that much, but if it is, that'll leave us a fund balance of about $7.5 million. Our optimum fund balance is about 2.5 million. So we can really have about 3 times the optimum fund balance that, is necessary, so. As far as fund balance, we're doing really good. And, this budget, the 199 budget is, balanced, this year. And I'll give you some of the, assumptions that we're making in this budget. We're using the same, refined ADA that we ended up with last year. And the property value, the preliminary property values have increased 15%. So that's what I'm basing the budget on. That makes the M&O tax rate will probably be, 0.7293. And I've got the INS tax rate at 0.078. And that'll be a total tax rate of 0.073, which is about a cent less than it was last year. And those are subject to change. Whenever we get certified values in, we'll send those certified values, the amounts to EA. They will send back our, the tax rate that we can use. But I think it'll probably be that, 0.7293, but we really won't know for sure until then. So that's a few, parameters that we use for that. I, run the template, the budget template, and it's, changed, about every 2 weeks it'll change, so this is based on the latest ones that I have in all the feed data that we put in. So, beginning to look at the proposed budget, I show that we're going to increase local revenue because tax values have increased, but that will mean the state revenues will decrease. And I've decreased the federal revenues there. You can see I've decreased them by $70,000. Probably won't happen. That's short, and there's, I'm not sure what they're doing with short right now, but,
No one is.
I wanted to be conservative, so I just put $10,000 in on the short, revenue. It's not a whole lot of difference than what the revenues were last year. 9.8 million versus really 9.8, so it's $31,000 less, which is very minimal. And going down into the expenditures, function 11, I've got $4,911,000. That's a decrease of $190,000 from the current budget that we have right now, and that is all to do with staff decreases. And you can see the other budgets are pretty close until we get down to 31, a decrease there of $127,000. Again, that's staff decreases. So we're cutting staff like we planned to do once that the COVID money was gone, which we don't have any more federal money now. And the plan was to reduce staff at that time if we need to. Transportation, you can see I've reduced it to $126,000. That's because I don't have any bus purchases in there, or vehicle purchases. We had that last year, we don't have this year, so that's why that's reduced.
Just 1 sec, on the staff decrease, is that, Dr. Rebel, is that the numbers you're giving? The number of staff to help drive this number, guide the number?
Yes.
Feedback.
It's like half a K Quinn,
Okay, so
moving
you're
Natalie, not replacing her, Kayla Hall, because she was being paid with ESSER money, and so
Gotcha.
a lot of that we knew was going away in 3 years, and so, yeah.
And you're not-
And I told Mr. Thompson today, I said, the nice part about this is, I really didn't have to do it, we all knew it was coming, and it was just, you know, a matter of all pitching in and doing it together, but, right now, I'll tell you, and just bear with me, we have one position that we're really trying to fill, and we have a placeholder in this budget for it. Well, actually two. One is a paraprofessional, and then the other one is a science teacher at the middle school that you got the resignation on. And so, we're scouring for that, but we have placeholders in the budget for those two positions, so, I think we're
Yeah.
pretty tight.
And, depending on who we hire, the budget may change slightly, but I don't think it'll change very much. What we got.
Okay.
Down to extracurricular, you see a decrease of 18,000. It's really overall was an increase because we took some band uniforms out of, this year we had, $40,000 in. Next year we won't have that, so that's a little bit, so when you take that 40 out, then we increase the 36 a little bit. But we have to pay more for officials, and there's kids, the food that they eat costs more, and so that's,
And we're more successful.
and that's good.
Season, right?
41, you see we decreased the budget by 240,000. That, is, mainly for, we had to pay, the health insurance, settlement deal this year, but we won't have to. Hopefully we won't have to next year. We're not planning on doing that next year. So that's why that's, reduced so much. Plant, 51, that's a staff, decrease. Then on down to 81, we decreased the capital expenditures by 200,000. You know, we had 400,000 in there, this current year. We're not planning on spending, but we're not budgeting, but 200,000, for this coming year. And, then down, operating transfers out, I've got $79,000 to transfer out to food service. Now that number I don't really think will be that high. We're going to, where all kids eat free, but the feds are gonna pay for that this year. I know at Comanche, they, break even or, add a little bit to fund balance every year, so, I'm not sure what it'll do here, but I don't know how to predict that.
Yeah, after this year, we'll know, but
Yeah.
this year, I think it's a wonderful thing for our students and for the families. It really will be.
So the bottom line is that, we've got a balanced budget for, 199, there, you see. Any questions before I go to the food service budget?
There was a increase in community service, which is good. What is it? What made it?
That's, daycare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You remember we told you we're adding a 3-year-old girl this year?
Then the cafeteria budget, like I said, I'm not sure, this is just I'm not even sure it's an educated guess or not, but it's a guess. Local revenues, I'm decreasing by 55,000. We'll still have, feeding, some of the staff members and all, so that'll be local. And state, we were getting, supply chain money. I don't know if we will get it again next year, but, who will,
What kind of,
Supply chain, yeah, it's,
it just comes in and they don't, we don't know about it till it gets here and then we have to spend it. So. But I've increased the federal revenue, and that's just, and the operating transfer is in of 79,000. I've increased the food service costs, slightly, and, this budget probably will change during the year, but, that's my best guess right now.
hopefully for the better.
Yeah. And then, the, INS budget, the debt service budget,
You said the federal's just for, just a 1 year that we know of for the
well,
59,
the.
or 91,000?
Oh, the 91,000 increase? Yeah, I'm not sure how much it'll increase, but the feds will pay us for a certain amount for all the students.
It's just 1 year is all it's,
No, it'll continue,
Okay.
as long as we're in that program.
okay.
I'm not sure if we have to, apply for it every year
I
or.
think we have to renew for
Just
it.
wanna
Renew,
do
yeah.
it this year, I'll get it. Pull it back.
Yeah, if it doesn't.
Yeah,
work
next
out.
year we'll know better next year after we've been through the year.
Yeah, I was just saying, I hate to have it this year and have to pull it back and not do it the following year.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I think it's been very difficult for some of us because, you know, during COVID, we had this, where it was free for everyone, and so, we've had a lot of people, still think it's free.
So we had 2 years of that back to back.
We
Is
had
that
2
what
years.
was, yeah, provided and then it went off and so I finally got.
Yeah, people, it was very, very nice, I'll just tell you, and I think it increased the participation from our students, and hopefully this will even more so, increase participation. And, we're pleased to be able to do it.
And then, Fund, 599, which is, debt service. Local, and you'll see that I've got where we're gonna go into fund balance, debt service fund balance for, about 92,000. Right now, in our fund balance for the debt service, at the end of the year, I think we'll have around $200,000 in fund balance. And we have three more years to, pay the debt off. The 2 years are pretty big, and then the third year, I think, is only 35,000. So, I wanted to use about half of the fund balance, this coming year, and then probably the rest of it in the next year. So
And
that's why.
next year it'll be paid,
Yeah.
it'll be out of debt.
That's why I set the, tax rate, low enough to where we'll go into fund balance about $92,000 worth. That's the plan anyway. We get the state money, that's, about 25,000 to help us, local money, about 304, so I think we'll get around $330,000 revenue, and we'll spend, 422,000 on, the bond payments, which will make us go into the fund balance of $92,000. And then the last sheet is just a summary of all three of those, just on one page. Just what the proposed budget will be. And this will change somewhat as we fill those two positions, and as I get certified values and, plug different numbers in. If, you know, I hope the certified values will be about the same as the preliminary, but, it may change. But like I say, that if it changes, if we receive less local money, we'll receive more state money. So it's gonna pretty well balance out.
So we'll see, then we lose about 100,000 in property taxes due to protests. Is it 100,000 or is it a little over that? So, I don't know if that'll happen again, but
Well-
that's just kind of an unknown.
But you only lose it for 1 year, because the state, if they keep us even,
Mhm.
so if you lose that money, it really, the protests don't hurt us, but just, for just that little 1 year. And, and then we're okay. And so if, I would never say to people, you know, don't protest,
No.
if you feel it's unfair, because it doesn't help us for it to be paid more, or hurt us, you know, because the state's not gonna pay us, but they're not gonna let us collect either from them or from our local people, but just at one level. So, but thank goodness, in 2 years, our bonds will be paid off, and we will just be maintenance and operation, because we've been able to do any projects we wanted to do out of fund balance. And the nice thing about fund balance, when it's sitting there, it is the goose that lays the golden egg. It is now,
It is
because
right.
interest rates are good, it's a revenue source, so, we're very fortunate to have a healthy fund balance.
Okay, remind me, it's been a year. That ADA, do you have to go off of what it was the year before, or is there a
No.
time frame where you find out it's a little different and you can adjust based on new attendance that's coming in, or how does that work?
Well,
At the end of
I
the year.
usually, in the past, I budgeted on less ADA than what we had the previous year,
Just conservative?
just to be conservative. This year I didn't,
We felt we'd been conservative enough.
we're pretty close budget this year, and, yeah, I look at the attendance every 6 weeks, and I update the template, and if I see that, most of the time I won't add any, revenues until the spring, but if I see that we've dropped in attendance and all, I may come to the board with a budget amendment with less revenues, earlier.
We're looking for an increase.
Well, that was, in years past, that was what we would always come to you in the spring for our wish list. That, because our enrollment had gone up every year. And, but remember, I said all along, we don't know why we're increasing, and if they leave, we really won't know why they're leaving. Our school district is, I think we're aging, that we have fewer people, more people that are my age and less people that are your age and having kids, and land prices are up. It's moved a little further that direction. However, I've had a couple of calls just today and last week of people who had taken their kids out of school, who called and said, we're gonna bring them back. And so I'm hoping that our enrollment has at least stabilized and maybe increased, so,
Yeah, and one thing I neglected to say, I had a meeting with all the administrators back in May, I think, or April, May.
later.
And they all worked to get the budget trimmed down to where it would be what it is right now. So there was reductions in all the campuses and looking for ways to save money, so.
But Esther was wonderful,
Yes.
but it's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
Well, we appreciate all of you working on the budget, and as far as that, I do think we'll increase in our enrollment just a little bit, and I do think that the teachers and, the administrators are working very hard to work on an ADA number. They've got several different things that they put into play that are getting the kids to show up a lot more consistently, so that's been good.
And that's another thing that's happened since COVID, attendance. We never had trouble with attendance until the last couple of years after COVID, and it's just that, sometimes they just don't see the importance of coming to school.
Well, it's a problem like across the state and across the.
Yes, yeah.
The other.
If you listen to the news, there's schools in the Metroplex in far worse shape than we are, that are having to close entire campuses down, multiple campuses. So we're fortunate, and we're going to keep hoping that everybody sees the value of De Leon ISD and brings them all back.
Okay, so what other, go ahead.
Any questions on?
Yeah, well, that's all I was gonna ask, was if we wanted to open the floor up to any questions that you have specifically on this budget presented.
If you notice later on in the agenda, there's a time asking you to set August fifth for a meeting to do the proposed budget and because after that, we'll know the values. So we can be more,
Yes, we want to see those values on July 30th, so it is,
Hmm,
good.
we should have 5:30.
Great. Okay, well, if there are no further questions, we can move forward. Yes, sir.
I know that this year we're working on a deficit budget. Would it be beneficial to go deficit, and I don't wanna go deficit by $1 million, but a little bit, lower the tax rate just a little bit where we got room to fund some of this. That way, if the attendance goes up, we're balanced. Because property taxes are up 15%, or
Hmm,
values,
values.
wrong term, because property values are up. I know we've been dropping the tax rate for
At least 3 years.
4 years.
There isn't some, if you look at that, it's for a long time. Since I've been here, we've.
And I know we're fixing to drop off the INS portion, but it's 2 years down the road. Just trying to forward think, and we got a healthy fund balance. I'm not saying I wanna get rid of all of it tomorrow. I'm not saying we need to do that. But if we go into a $250,000 deficit budget, that'll show the taxpayers that we are being diligent with tax money. And I know 250,000 is not gonna make a whole lot of difference on the tax rate. But sometimes it's the optics that we're graded against.
Heath, I would
Well-
agree with you, but if we
Right,
lower
and-
it,
and that-
don't we get in trouble with
We get a
the
double
state?
whammy.
And that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
What's the number that might work, right?
And I don't know where that
If you,
balance is.
yeah, if you lower it, TEA is not gonna fund as much, because,
They're gonna pay you like you collected it.
yeah,
Correct.
we're gonna collect less tax revenues, but less state revenue also. Also, if you lower it and need to bring it back up, you will have to, get voter approval to raise it back up.
Okay.
Because right now, I think it's being compressed, but it's, those pennies that we will lower it, we can't, next year, we can't raise it back up. We're setting a new level there, and it'll stay there until we get a voter approval to raise it back up. So
Well, and that's why I was just asking. I knew there,
One of the reasons that and it doesn't help everybody, but one of the reasons I think you all voted last year to buy the school supplies was to help people. One of the reasons that we worked to get the lunches was to
Yes.
help people. And I see your point, but it is a double whammy if you lower it, because you have to go through an election, get
Correct.
approval, whatever, and the state's is still gonna pay you at that effective tax rate level.
and that
Regardless of-
0.7293 is the effective tax rate.
yeah,
Well, right now with the numbers he's got. right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why,
but
I
it
mean,
may change.
we're speculating and guessing
Yeah.
and nothing. We're using semi-accurate information.
Yeah. Yeah, I estimated that our T2 values, which are the taxable values that the EA will use increase by 15%. Now, if the certified values that, the appraisal district gives us are less than that, then, it'll drop down, but.
Well, and I know we're not using, we don't have enough accurate information right now to base it. And we're using speculatory numbers.
I think they're pretty good
They're
guess,
pretty
but,
close.
but with what information I have right now, they're as good as I can get.
Well, and I'm not saying we need to get into where we have to have voter approval to go to raising it if we need to, but.
And at the next meeting, I can bring you numbers about what it would do to us if we did lower.
Okay. I'd like to see that, I'm not saying, there's always ramifications in getting it too low.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, if you'll bring those to us next time, that'd be great. And I think that what you were saying, Dr. Marable, about, you know, the things that we do on the free lunches and the school supplies, those are really great and they help out a lot of people, but then you have
But
a
not
whole
all.
other group of people that
They
don't have kids in the school.
I don't have kids in the school district.
But it is, so, yeah, so it does, I mean,
So, and
Yeah.
that's really where I'm trying to balance is, I like doing things that will benefit the kids, granted. But I also know that we're quote unquote a veteran community and not everybody has kids tied to school.
it's a good point for sure. Okay, other questions?
Let Mr. Thompson get on the road.
No, we have things you'll wanna hear about, I'm sure. Thank you so much for coming and presenting to us.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Come back to see us.
Yes.
The fifth, is it on the fifth?
Okay, great. 6.4, board training opportunities.
I don't have any need to change on that.
You can always go online and take a look and see if there's anything that you're interested in. If you are, you can contact, Dr. Marable or Risha, and they'll set you up with that. I think everybody's good on their hours at this point. Action item 7.1, consideration approval of donation and gifts to our district.
We had a $500 donation from the First National Bank for academic awards and from the First United Methodist Church for $750 for academic awards. And I ask you to approve those.
Do we anticipate the Ministerial Alliance helping us with the school supplies such as they did last year?
We don't anticipate it, but we have budgeted for it.
Okay.
Okay, we have budgeted for it, but we're not going to.
That question was asked.
Yeah, we would be grateful. But it is budgeted for. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the donations and gifts to the district.
Thank you, Rachel.
Second.
Thank you, Derek. All those in favor? Okay, great. That's all of us. Okay, consideration approval to set the August 5th date for our meeting to propose the 24-25 budget and tax rate. And then we'll also meet August 26th for the public hearing, to be followed by our regular meeting to officially set the budget and tax rate. Anybody have any issues with those dates? Y'all getting married on that day or anything?
I created a force first.
you can't do it that fast.
That's right.
I'll make a motion to approve those dates.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. Awesome, all of those in favor? Okay, that's all of us, thank you. All right. Now we'll look at the consideration for, our extracurricular resolution for our Ag Life extension for 4-H.
We do this every year. It's for our students who are involved in 4-H for when they, miss school. They actually get counted credit because they act as adjunct, professors, so. Yeah.
I'll make the motion
Thank
to
you, sir.
clear this.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, everyone, thank you. Okay, so this is the consideration and approval to increase the district's contribution for healthcare insurance by $20 per month per participant.
This came about because as we were working on the budget, we realized that the new rules for affordable health care have changed, and some of our employees are below the level to make us legal. And so we looked at everything, and this would, cost less than $20,000 to do this, and it would benefit a lot of our employees, rather than trying to adjust individual pays all across the board. So, we just thought it was a good thing, and I think y'all mentioned increasing that amount. Hopefully, eventually it'll be increased more than that, but this is in the budget too, by the way, when we work on the budget, that $20 increase is in the budget. So it would, hey, $20 a month is, and this will make the cost of their insurance really less than what they're paying this year, so.
So employer contribution will go up 20, but theirs will stay the same or go down?
Yeah, theirs will go
Their
down.
premiums?
Their premiums will go down. This will actually decrease what out of pocket from them.
Okay, reasons against it? Anyone have anything? Okay. Looking for a motion on that one.
I so move.
Thank you. Second,
I'll
please.
second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay, and one abstaining. How many are there? 6 or 5 to 1. Okay. All right, so then we have on 8 for personnel, the acknowledging the resignation of Kami Southall and Greg Cisneros. Both have been amazing, and I'm super sad to see them both go. But I know we have some other opportunities that have come up, and we're looking for that science teacher.
Carrie, I think we should go into executive session.
Okay, that will work just fine. What time is it?